I'm about as real as they come.
All my beats tailored by Joe. House Digital.
Maserati Rick in Detroit, convertible bird in Miami. Graduated summa cum laude, strip club made a tsunami. Carlton Hines with the ball game, Grateful Edmonds with the snowflakes, Craig Pettis in the M-Town, Sal Magluta with the boat game, Falcone with the cocaine, like Freeway Ricky with the plug game, like Monster Cody in South Central, Larry Davis from close range.
Police sources tell WFA Dallas police are investigating what connections this situation may have to Reiser's father. Federal court records show he operated a drug house here in this Dallas apartment. He was arrested in August 2017 for intent to distribute narcotics. He was sentenced and is housed in this Grand Prairie federal prison.
That's Officer Bryan Reiser in the red shirt, finally being booked into jail. But should he have been allowed to continue being a cop after he was under investigation in 2 murders since August 2019? Even other police officers wonder.
Why was this going on so long, and why was he still on the street? And then I get the fact that, well, we didn't want to tip him off. I'm sorry, but he's out in the public, and he's wearing the uniform, he's carrying a gun, and he's driving a squad car. It says Dallas Police on it.
In a statement Thursday, former Police Chief Renee Hall wrote, DPD Special Investigations Unit, in collaboration with the FBI, recommended not placing Reiser on administrative leave. Taking that action could have compromised the investigation. Tipped him off, she says. But today, the FBI flatly denied making such a suggestion.
We did not at any time and would not make recommendations about pulling him off or taking him or leaving him on duty. We at no time asked them to leave him on duty.
Reiser is accused of hiring someone to kidnap and shoot Albert Douglas and Lisa Sines in 2017 and dump their bodies in the Trinity River. Douglas's body has never been found. But what was the motive? What was Reiser's connection to the victims? Court documents don't shed any light on that. And Douglas's cousin, Yolanda Thomas, doesn't have a clue.
I just don't get it. I'm still trying to figure out what's the connection. I was up all night. I have a lot of conspiracy theories going on in my mind.
A mystery with so many questions, and for now, few answers.
Liza Marie Sines had been shot.
Dallas police would have never expected that on a night in March 2021, they'd be searching a fellow officer's home, an officer charged with capital murder.
Today, the Dallas Police Department arrested Officer Bryan Reiser.
Officer Bryan Reiser is accused of paying a man to kill 2 people. According to court documents, both murders happened in 2017. Both bodies dumped in the Trinity. One was found.
Detectives also found shell casings nearby on the Santa Fe Trail.
The other wasn't. The arrest affidavit says a year and a half ago, the alleged hitman came forward with new information, telling detectives he and Reiser met at a donut shop near Simpson Stewart and Bonneview Roads and at nearby Miller Family Park. The affidavit says GPS data proved Reiser was at those meetings planning the murders in his squad car. Police have had that evidence since 2019, but Reiser wasn't arrested until Thursday.
I'm going to assume that the previous administration knew, yes.
Former Dallas Police Chief Renee Hall told WFAA she did know, but she said there wasn't enough evidence to charge Reiser. So to avoid tipping him off, they kept him on the force. Police did not explain what new evidence made now the right time to arrest Bryan Reiser. New Chief Eddie Garcia said now is also the right time to fire him.
There's not a police chief in America that can look you in the eye and tell you that there aren't officers in the organizations that have no business wearing this uniform. And the important thing about it is we need to find those individuals. When we find them, it's the actions that we take that I believe all of us need to be judged by.
In Dallas, I'm Teresa Woodard.
Yo, we back. It's your boy Popalot. Mobb ties. We on our way to Dallas with it. DF fucking W, dog. This shit wow. Now, today, we are going to be covering the saga of Bryan Reiser. Now, if you guys haven't heard of Bryan Reiser, he's going to be a former 13-year veteran of the Dallas Police Department. But it only came out that he was charged in a murder for hire plan that happened in 2017. So we're going to try to break down a little bit based on the research that I did on this specific case
It's still ever evolving. So pretty much the groundwork of the case is going to be two murders, one of a female by the name of Lisa Sinez and another gentleman by the name of Albert Douglas. Now, Lisa Sinez was found, her body was found in, like, submerged in a river or a lake or something like that. Albert Douglas's body has never been found. Now, I'm trying to piece together the whole thing, and like, well, how is shit coming out 4 years later? You would have to dig deeper, and you would have to go all the way back to 2017 to even start to process the shit that happened in this case. So it's going to be an arrest of 3 people in 2017. One guy by the name of Kevin Kidd, 28 years old. Another gentleman by the name of Emmanuel Kilpatrick, 31 years old. And another gentleman by the name of Jamon Simmons, who was 35 years old. Now, their arrest is going to be important to the case of Bryan Reiser, because back in, I want to say September 21st of 2017, those 3 men were charged with that murder. And an eerie set of events that's like, based on the reports from when the 3 gentlemen was arrested from this murder, with no mention of Officer Bryan Reiser. They mentioned that the 3 men allegedly tried to get the victim, Lisa Sinez, to become a prostitute in some kind of prostitution operation that they supposedly was running. When she declined, or she refused, she was then murdered and then dumped into that river. That was based on reports by CBS Dallas and the Dallas Morning News. So fast forward a little bit after that, those same 3 gentlemen would end up being charged with, they would end up being charged in affiliation with Simmons's girlfriend, a female by the name of Joy Tiana Gray. They will be charged with a whole nother set of a double homicide, with the when a guy by the name of Irby Walton Jr. and his dad, can't remember his dad's name, but it was a father and son pair. So it was going to be Irby Walton Sr. and then Irby Walton Jr. I can't remember his dad's name. So those were going to be 2 people that they're going to say that the girlfriend was allegedly seen going to an apartment with the father. Hours later, gunshots was heard coming from the apartment that they were going into. Then it was said 4 suspects were seen fleeing, and it was the 3 people that were mentioned along with Simmons' girlfriend. So it don't stop there. Less than 48 hours after that alleged double homicide, on March 13th, officers found a gentleman by the name of Cristobal Zapata. He was dead in his car, which had crashed through a gate off of an East Oak Cliff business. So, Oak Cliff. But according to evidence, they're going to say that Cristobal Zapata had agreed to exchange sex with Joy Tiana Gray, and allegedly she sent her location as they were finding some place to have that transaction taken care of. And at that time, Kidd and Simmons would have pulled up, and pretty much, well, Kidd, Kilpatrick, and Simmons were all together, and they actually pulled up and allegedly tried to rob Zapata. When he tried to drive off, they said that he was shot and killed. So that was in 2017. Fast forward to 2021, and now we have this case on the desk of this officer. And just based on me looking at it, they're going to say that his father was arrested a few years back. And what was deemed to be some kind of drug operation. He was ended up being convicted, and he's now serving time. But the female Lisa Sanez, who they said the three men tried to get into the prostitution ring, was actually a roommate of the father. So I don't know. Man, y'all make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, on Twitter. It's your boy Popalot, POP_A_LOT. We're going to be back with some more real Trill Spill shit. Y'all make sure y'all hit the bell under this video to know when it's dropping. And y'all know what it is. The Mobb. Mobb. Tice.